Well, Josh, man, thanks for your time. You can look at me. You don't have to worry about the camera.
Okay.
But I just started people's origin stories. Tell me about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Bremerton, Washington, raised in Bremerton, Washington. My roots are Seattle. This represents breaking free from the needle. When I had 5 years clean. That was right around the time I met her.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, let's see. When you were raised with mom and dad?
No.
Who
My
raised
grandparents raised me. I went to a private Christian school till 8th grade. Christ the King Lutheran Church and School.
What, we wearing uniforms and stuff?
Is where, not really uniforms, but I remember my grandpa. I called my grandpa Dad, and there was obviously a different code of conduct. There was only 54 kids in the entire school.
Oh, small.
Yeah,
Very
so
small.
I went all the way from that till 8th grade, and 8th grade is when I went to public school and was introduced to the real world.
Yeah. The Christian bubble popped.
Yeah.
Any siblings in there?
Yeah, but not none that really matters, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, let's see. You graduated high school?
No.
Well, tell me what happened.
So, when my grandpa died, we couldn't afford the school I was going to, and I was forced to enter into a Ridgetop Junior High School, which we're now looking at 2,300 kids in the entire school. Within 3 weeks, I was smoking cigarettes, getting into fights, and just doing everything I could to get in where I could fit in that environment, because I was so scared being around that many kids.
Yeah, it's like a shock to you.
It was at that point in my life that we realized that I had severe anxiety, and I couldn't cope with the way things were like that. It was yeah, like I said, 3 weeks is all it took for me to be just annihilated in my moral beliefs at that time. I was dyeing my hair, started causing tension between my grandmother and I, who was now raising me on her own. That didn't last long before I absentmindedly started abusing her. I think I was like 13 or 14, and she just couldn't take it anymore, and I got home from school one day, and there's this lady there, and she's ready to take me to an adolescent treatment home, and so I pretty much, like, my whole world was flipped upside down. And I went from a secure Christian upbringing to a, I don't know what I'm going to do and how this is going to go, but...
Yeah, it's a complete uncertainty.
Yeah. So I went through every foster care home in the behavioral status sense in Kitsap County that led me to one of the most hardest group homes for a white boy to be in Hilltop, Tacoma, where I was the only white person in the group home, and went to Stadium High School, and it was just complete shell shock. And I had nobody to show me or tell me what to do, how to do it. and just for me to be able to play basketball at the park up there, I had to get jumped and beat up every day, and I did. I took it and I fought every day to play basketball, even though I got my ass kicked every day. And finally, one of the OGs realized how hard I was fighting to play ball, and he ended up accepting me into the park, and it was the first feeling of street respect from the streets that I had, and a welcoming into a family per se, you know, not gang affiliated, but gang oriented.
Okay.
Because I wasn't a gangster or anything like that, as much as I would pretend to be. I was just getting in where I could fit in, you know?
Yeah.
But I was able to play basketball from there on out. And I'm pushing like 16 at this point, and I decided enough was enough. And by 17, I decided that I was going to run away from this group home and go find my biological dad in Colorado, and that I did. I saved up the money I needed to get on a Greyhound, and I booked, bounced like a fucking Nerf ball, excuse my language, to
Hey, you be you, man. Speak any way you want.
bounced like a Nerf ball to Colorado. Had no idea. I hadn't talked to my biological dad since I was 7, and I figured out where he stayed.
So you had you talked to him and said, "Hey, I'm coming,"
No.
but you knew his address.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me about that.
It was shit. At 17 years old, it was it was me, my backpack, my skateboard, and a blunt, and a bunch of cigarette snipes. And I looked like a freaking moron because I had all the black girls from the Stadium High School, like, you know, were crushing on me and stuff because they wanted to do my hair and cornrow, and so I look like a complete moron, you know. But I'm thinking I'm looking like a straight G, you know, showing up to my multimillionaire father's, you know, place of residence, and you know, I did. I showed up, and I called him when I got there, and he pulled up in a 71 Mach 1 Mustang, and we drove 120 miles an hour from the Greyhound station to his place, and it was a seemingly beautiful thing. It's just that, you know, we weren't very compatible.
Yeah. It's like I can hear the dream, I can hear the vision.
Yeah.
And it's seemingly, like you said, seemingly beautiful thing. And maybe that moment was beautiful, but the reality is
is that it was very abusive. And you know, he was an entrepreneur. He was addicted to OxyContin. I was addicted to ecstasy. On my way to being addicted to OxyContin, I didn't know it yet though. But it caused a little rift in our relationship, and I just don't reach out to him anymore. I don't care about his money. You know, no amount of money or drugs will ever impress me anymore. It's how you conduct yourself as a person. If you have a human at all left in you anymore these days, that's what I look at. If not, stay away from me, stay away from my wife, you know. There's a lot of evil out here right now, and I got what you give is what you get, you know. And I try my best to keep my wife and I away from the evil.
Yeah. Well, let's see. At some point, you came back, or I don't know where you went from Colorado, but you left Colorado, and then you met your wife in Bremerton?
I met my wife in Bremerton 2016, where we, and it was March, and the first girl that I'd ever just kind of hooked up with, but you know, I really liked her, and she got pregnant right away, which I was not prepared for. And my grandma had a saying growing up that it's time to shit or get off the pot. And that was one of those scenarios where it was time to, you know, like it's either happening or it's not.
Yeah,
and,
you gotta buckle down.
Yeah, you gotta grow up, or you gotta figure something out. And that we did. We tried to grow up, but in the long run, adoption became the very best thing for them, especially because it was adoption under people that I knew throughout my foster care, that were good to me, and yeah, I just my wife did not take it as good and strongly as I did. I always thought it was just the best thing to do. And
so you have how many kids?
We have two kids together, and then she has one from a previous marriage.
And the two kids you had together, you put up for adoption.
Yes, and they're with the parents that adopted them are essentially parents that taken me in when I was in foster care.
Oh, okay. That's a interesting connection.
Yeah, but it made it to where it's open-ended. We take them whenever to go to the zoo.
I mean, it's just to facilitate that. It's like I'm sure it sounds like you did that.
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let's see. Your wife is telling me you guys started this business and were like jamming at it.
Oh, dude, yeah. Within 8 months of being in this Oxford house, we annihilated the every sense of the term of success that you could imagine. That woman turned me from a $12 to $15 an hour guy working for some jackass. It was supposed to be my friend, and next thing you know, I'm licensed, bonded, insured, have thinking of what to call my company and what to call my business. Silverdale Maintenance is what I came up with, and we just, you know, man. I mean, my first job was a rockery feature where I was just making this little landscape, some bark plants and rockery, and a little tiny garden yield at the top with the small dry riverbed running down the middle. And it was like a 4-hour job, and I profited $3,900. It was, I literally, I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the papers and going back and forth, and I was scared to take them to bid because it was a little bit over, and I had never bidded anything before, and I wanted to make sure I had everything right. So I was just honest. I started being honest with the people, and they helped me out, and they were like, no, you're absolutely right. And in fact, you should technically be putting in the help that your wife did with you on this, because that adds to your, you know, to your profit. And so I had a big help from the first customers I had, and I had top of the line insurance. It cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to get my everything out of collections. Um, uh, so I'll get to that in a second. But I couldn't afford to have my insurance cover me for more than 7 feet above a roof,
Okay.
above a gutter. So we came up with the idea of doing gutter cleaning.
Gotcha.
Where I got stuck up in a freaking roof, super pitched, for about 6.5 hours. I was so pissed.
Well, the ladder went down or what?
No, I was just too spooked to freaking get back down because it was so pitched and
gotcha.
It was snowing.
Fear was the
fucking insane.
paralyzer. Yeah.
And I was just trying to get this figured out before they got home. And my wife throws me up the phone and she's like, Google and YouTube. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Oh, and YouTube, everything. Yes.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, that's how we figured out how to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
When I went to go cut down my first tree,
That's right.
I figured, we had a 36-inch Husqvarna chainsaw. 5 months pregnant, she was helping me limb trees already. This was nothing. And then come to it, I'm looking up at the tree, and I'm looking at the saw. I'm like, no, I can't just cut through this fucking tree. Like, no, it's not right. And I start YouTubing the consequences, and I'm watching people get the tree get cut halfway through and then split up and toss somebody 300 feet and their chainsaws, even further.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then, of course, there's a 7-step list to do it. And that we did, and it worked out fine, but it's the only tree I've ever cut down to this day. But that one, we got $7,500 at the end of that job, profit, and essentially everything was done right. And word of mouth became huge.
Yeah, referrals, for sure.
Us. We were doing retaining walls. We were doing just amazing things, amazing work. Well, fast forward, I head out to go do a roofing job in the morning at 5 a.m. and I go say bye to my wife, and I am realizing that, okay, what's wrong? You don't look right. I had the lady that was doing the rent to own for us take her to the hospital, which I got a call later on that day that she was in and had endocarditis and cholestasis, and they were gonna have to induce her for labor. And so when I got off work that night, I was packed and ready to go, and I went over there, and she is looks like she's on her fucking deathbed, and she had signed a do not resuscitate if it came down to it between her and the baby. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Okay. A longer story into that goes, she gets sent to the Josephina Hospital in Tacoma, or what? The hospital in Tacoma, where they were further expertise on dealing with this. And I get a call about a week later saying that, okay, your wife is about to be induced for labor, and she said you need to get over here now. So I dropped what I was doing at a job I was at, and I go home. to change my clothes and to get some things she needed. And at the fucking front door is open, and there's a guy in my house there to let me know that the house that we bought for rent to own, we purchased through a lady that was a tenant getting evicted. And that we needed to vacate immediately, and that we didn't have a place to bring our baby home to. I spent $18,000 that I worked my ass off for to get my license out of collections, to get a truck, to pay our rent in our other places that we were living at, in Oxford House and all that, and my things out of collections, her things out of collections, and then the $9,600 that we wrote, or that we gave to this lady in cash that was a tenant getting evicted. The real owner, he was the real owner that I met that day, who was on vacation in another country this whole time. And so the paperwork I signed was just shit she printed off from his fucking computer. And she was already wanted by in parts of California for, you know, similar scams. And so at this point, my wife had never seen me like high off any drug or anything like that. Like I said, breaking free from the needle. I had 5 years clean. So on my way to let her know that we didn't have a place to bring our baby home to, I'm steaming, I'm fuming, I'm looking at everything around me, and I'm like, I'm at ground zero financially. I had it set for us to just be able to have this baby and for us to be good for at least 6 months. I had 6 months to where we could live comfortably, where our bills were paid, everything was up to par, and it you know, come spring, you know, early spring or whatever, I would be able to get our, you know, my accounts going again. I knew I could do that. And I show up and make a pit stop on the way for some stupid reason and go to my old dealer's house, and I pretty much relapse fucking to the fullest, and I show up and I ended up going into some other fucking random room in the hospital and passing out in the bed and pissing myself, and wake up to a security guard and like, where's my fucking wife? And I punch him in the face and like start smashing up to where I thought my wife was, and the whole time she can hear me screaming, yelling through the intercom thing, and I was just so fucking mad, dude, like. And what that entailed was CPS getting involved to come in because of the violence on my end, and, you know, the way my actions were, that I couldn't hold myself together, you know, to add fuel to the fire, and you know, let us know that we weren't going to be able to take our daughters, you know, anywhere with us until we figured out everything that was really going on, which, you know, now I obviously completely understand. But I'm fully at a extremely heartfelt, positive, if you will, that we would have been successful in raising our daughters in a home that we were working very hard to keep, maintain, and pay for. And it was stolen from us by that lady, and by my choice to, you know, bitch out and relapse instead of man up and, you know, face what was going on. And for that, I don't think I'll ever, forgive myself completely, but I got a woman that has not left my side, through that, and she's an amazing person, and she's got us on the methadone program right now, where we're able to not have to use, the street drugs, as far as like being hooked on them and stuff, I'm getting really close to being completely away from everything, and she's just she's a diamond in the rough, and
yeah, you guys have been through a lot, man.
Yeah.
And Josh, man, that wasn't your fault. Like, that lady scammed you.
Yeah.
That was not your fault, man.
Yeah.
It
Her name's Tawny Grisham. She was on the Kids Apps Most Wanted and some other shit, but...
And I can hear how it snowballed.
Yeah.
Definitely changed the trajectory of a lot.
She was an awesome fucking lady, man. Like she was helping us with stuff, and oh man, I'll never forget. Actually, she rubbed my wife's belly, and she was like, "I knew you would be the perfect couple for this."
Con artist.
And
She's a con artist.
Fucking, I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah, man, that's rough. I'm sorry.
Because we're the type of people, man. Like, dude, we went from nothing, dude, to all of a sudden having realized that all I had to do, I didn't have to be making a punk ass $12 an hour this whole time. I could have been having my own business a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just needed the help to do it, and she showed me how to do that. And then from there, it was, dude, like I paid off my bank account debts. I'm talking 3 months, man.
And this lady showed you?
No,
oh,
my wife.
Your wife showed you.
Yeah.
That's it. I see.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy, dude. Like, we have goals. We have, we have morals. Like, but all these crews out here that are, trashing the place and setting up their tents on the side of the road, and then leaving their pee buckets and other buckets out there for people to see. Like, of course it's gonna make a bad stigma on homeless people like my wife and I, that we'll go through and pick up other people's stuff to make to where the community doesn't have to see it. But then we're the ones that get skipped to get the apartment opportunity and the help that everybody else just gets handed to them that doesn't deserve it. Like, I hate to say it like that, but man, like, there's so many people that just don't give a fuck, man, about what other people think about them. And I wasn't raised like that, man. My grandparents raised me, what you give is what you get. And we're supposed to be in a homeless community, especially like that, showing the regular community that, hey, just because we're in this position, we're still human enough to use the trash can to throw away our trash, and not just leave needles and shit like that for your kids to step on. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no wonder why it's so hard for people to get help. But for some reason, they give those people help, and it's, in my opinion, because they can get into these apartments that allow them to use, and it's a safe harm reduction, And it's just, yeah.
It's complicated, really complicated. Which kind of leads me to this question, which you're kind of answering, is what would you want, or is there anything you would want the people of Seattle to know?
Yeah, man, just know that there are those douchebags that are going to continue to not care about, just littering your place or breaking into your cars or committing whatever crime they got to do to, support whatever habit they have. But, my wife and I, we sought help to get on methadone and counseling, and now we're doing things like playing basketball together and spending time together, and it's putting us that much further away from the drugs, and we have fun together, and it just makes it hard because the people that are still remaining in the sickness and not caring what other people think, we get overlooked for so many things, and we have a lot of pride, so sometimes it's hard to ask for stuff, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just know that there's not, I don't know of anybody out here but my wife and I that actually religiously pick up after themselves, and not just for like an attention thing. We do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Josh, man, thanks for your time. It's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, you too, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I normally don't do stuff like this, and the money has nothing. I would have done it regardless. It was the way you approached this and the respect you showed us and your demeanor.
Yeah, man.
I can tell that you're doing this for a reason, and I respect that, and I would like to, follow you on anything that you have out there, social media wise, and.
Thanks, man. I'm trying to figure it out.
I think you're doing it. I can tell you're a genuine person, and
yeah. Thanks, man.
Trying to do things,
I'm trying, man. All we can do is try our best, and.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, man, hang in there, dude.
Yeah.
Hang in there, man. You can do it.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I've done about 170 people, and I've not talked to anybody.